Friday.
Yes, sir. It's time for the preview show with Nix and Messiah. What's going on, huddlers? Ooh. We got some heat today. Some questions from y'all that we're going to get into in the mailbag, and some awesome games on deck for Week 5.
Yes.
I don't know if you've peeked over the valley some. Another great. We'll get to it, but Monday night, very intrigued by the Monday night game. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's talk about them Colts going down in New England.
Yeah. Well, you know, Indianapolis, a lot of injuries, man. I mean, they're missing a lot of bodies. I mean, they were hurting last week for sure. Definitely this week. A plethora,
if you will.
Yeah. I mean, you can all the adjectives descriptors that you want. Their lineup suffering. I mean, New England comes out, opening drive, quick march down the field for 75 yards. Just offense for Indianapolis, slow, haphazard play calling for the first half. I mean, like, they were really stagnant. And I mean, for a team whose defense isn't the greatest, New England's defense just seemed like that much faster than Indianapolis offense. Vinatieri with the missed kicks.
Gut punch.
And I mean, like, even like if you paid attention to the play-by-play last night, like they were reiterating from the warm-ups, Vinatieri was missing kicks. So it was kind of like maybe like a foreshadowing of, that was what was to come. But back to the defense and stuff. I mean, Patrick Young, real active on defense. And other players out there, Flowers and things like that for New England, who are getting more comfortable right now with the new defensive coordinator. Since Matt Patricia's gone to Detroit now as the head coach. But man, seriously, man, Indianapolis was just outgunned, outclassed, a lot of drop balls, and
I think it was 7. I think it was 7 drops for Indy.
Yeah,
7.
I mean, just two things real quick that I need to add. One, the Brady, Belichick, McDaniels triumvirate, if you will. Red zone efficiency, execution, play calling. They don't get enough credit for that. Very, very good inside the red zone. That team with that QB and head coach and offensive coordinator. And the other thing, there was a point there in the game where Gronk was going up for a catch and his brace fell off. I'm trying to figure out how long until the league makes him get rid of that. Because, I mean, he's not listed on the injury report every week for that arm. And, I mean, to be fair, this is not like a new thing for me or for us. I mean, we've been talking about this for 2 years now, you and I, off to the side. Like, that's a weapon that dude has. And, I mean, we just need to call it what it is. I mean, it's a weapon. If he's not listed on the injury report every week for that elbow or forearm or whatever it is, like, he shouldn't be wearing that. It's dangerous. I mean, last night he damn near hurt himself with it falling off because I think he damn near almost tripped over it once he kept on running. So, yeah, somebody needs to ask about that. You know what I mean?
Right. But, like, what is really going on? Yeah, I mean, 38-24 was the final. The Patriots were up 24-3, and we're driving in for another score, and ball pops out of the hand of one Chris Hogan. Mm-hmm. They pick it off. Colts are able to get a drive and score. Then Brady right back down the field again. Ball pops off another wide receiver. Intercepted. And, man, right back down the field. They're able to get another touchdown and got it within one score. And then they went ahead, cleaned that up with the drops. And Brady gets his 500th touchdown pass to one Flash Gordon. Right. And they go ahead and pull away and put it to bed. But, yeah, I mean, it was just going to be a tall order for the Colts. I mean, they only suited 44 guys on a short week even. So, yeah, Patriots, 1-2 on the brink. Now 3-2 and all is well. I think we've seen this before from them.
Yeah, I mean, and, to be honest, Brady was efficient, but not really. I mean, he was 34 for 43, 341 yards, 3 TDs, and 2 picks. Like, that's not
the picks. Yeah, but the picks wasn't on him.
Yeah,
I mean, those balls were in good spots. They dropped it and they went up in the air and it got intercepted. I can't put those on Brady.
Those aren't Brady type numbers, though, and I just it may add the fuel to the fire of maybe whether or not dude should hang it up. Although this week he's playing until he's 45, so I don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah, the yin and the yang, and of course, again, if you looked at them 1 and 2, even though they got back Edelman and they added the Flash Gordon, they got back to Patriot football.
Yes,
the ball,
they did.
Throw it to the running backs. They did it last week against Miami, and they continued that trend this week as well. So
Sony Michel with the 34-yard scamper late in the 4th.
Right. I mean, untouched, like it opened. And 2 yards, back to my 100-yard rushers, he was 2 yards away from 100 yards rushing. Oh!
Yeah, because he was, they had made that remark last night and during the broadcast. After he had hit that 34-yarder, like they were like, yeah, he's like closing in on a 100-yard game. So he was close. He was close. Yeah, he got to 98, and then of course back to James White, 10 catches, 77 yards, another touchdown again for him. So yeah, definitely getting back to New England Patriot football, and they've gotten 2 wins back to back. So good for them. Hopefully the coach can heal up and lick their wounds and do something the following week. Again, kind of going back to our last episode, bro. Just no help for Andrew Luck. I mean, I had just no help. I'm befuddled by 6 years of no help for him. But T.Y. Hilton, hopefully it won't be long term for him, and that'll definitely give him a weapon on the outside. Eric Ebron stepped up big last night. Yeah, he did.
But he expected to be out of the turtle, kind of doing what we expected him all along as the prospect that he was. So
he left Detroit and then they added like a 50-pound rock in his ass. Like, he's just, oh my gosh, slow, man.
Hey, man, but it's sometimes slow and steady wins the race.
I think Antonio Gates might be faster than him.
Antonio Gates is like playing on like one toe now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He still got a touchdown catch last week, though. Yes, pinky toe. Right? Don't touch the pinky. Yeah. Man, let's go to this mailbag, though. We got some questions from some of the huddlers on the group. So we picked a couple of these and see. They wanted to pick our minds. So let's see what we think from Scott Backus.
Yeah.
Little projecting he wants from us here. Assuming a lockout is happening, what provisions would definitely change? What provisions would definitely change? Oh, crap. I had it and I lost it. There we go. What provisions would definitely change between the last CBA and this one, i.e., will we see an 18-game season, expanded rosters, or shortened preseason? So, first and foremost, we're going to see a lockout. Let's start there. Definitely there. Assuming a lockout is there, let's not assume. I completely concur. I think there's for sure going to be a lockout. I for sure believe the owners want to get rid of 2 of the preseason games, get 18 games. How far they're going to get with that, I don't know, because player safety, whatever the case may be. It really depends on the players and how well they take care of their money between now and then. If they take care of their money well and they can actually sit in and lock it down and not break, I think they'll get a lot of the things that they're looking for. I think, and this is going to kind of go into a question that we have from another member, I think weed's going to be on the docket, marijuana, if you will. And I believe that line item, hey, I'm the commish, ultimate power, do what I want. I think those are the 2 biggest things that are going to be attacked in that CBA, also with guaranteed contracts and a split of the pie.
Yeah, definitely the weed thing. And that's something that, I mean, we're answering this question for sure. But, that's something that I think we want to backdoor later on and just have like a subject on that. The benefits, the negatives, how it affects players, how it affects teams,
Right.
Maybe we need to touch on, is that a gateway drug, type thing? I don't know. There's a lot to discuss there, and I just don't think it would be fair for us to just sit here and just answer the question and say,
and we'll roll that into this one, because from Joel, His was, should Mary Jane be something they not ban or find players for?
Right.
So we'll kind of backdoor that with Scott here, and definitely going to be on the docket in this lockout. In my opinion, short answer, it should be out of here. It shouldn't. I mean, we're taking opioids and everything stuff like that. I think NBA's done a great job with it. I think the NFL needs to kind of do something along the same lines.
Yeah.
And adopt that in there. But we can touch that a little bit later. But yes, as far as Joel, your question with should they be banned for it? I say no. Short answer on that. Back to the CBA. Expanded rosters, since he asked about that too.
Yeah.
If they do get the 18 games, no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to
expand the roster.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
I mean, realistically, we just saw it with the Colts, right?
Right.
44 guys because it was on the short week. The roster should be expanded now.
Right.
As is, much less with an 18 game schedule. I think the perfect balance, honestly, if they can get to this, if they would stop charging full price for the tickets in preseason, the preseason games would fill up and they would make the money off the parking and the vending. And we're seeing sloppy play early on because we're not getting guys playing in the preseason.
Yeah, and let's be fair, man. Like the way these games are now, I mean, the contact, the way these kids are built coming out of college, and as they progress into pros to start developing, they got different, nutrition plans now as they enter the league. You need more camp bodies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's going to be a plethora of talent because we know there's plenty of guys drafted the third, fourth, fifth round. You know what I mean? They got talent and they finally get a chance and, they show out. But these injuries, as these owners look to make more money by adding more games, not only expanding the roster, for depth's sake, but you need people in case injuries happen in camp at this particular point. I don't care whether you're shortened preseason or not. Like this is very critical. This is all, we all know this is all a money making venture, but your star quarterback gets hurt, your star wide receiver gets hurt in a preseason game, or heck, even in week 3 now, and you're trying to play 18 games. You really think you're going to fill up the stadium with that? I mean, you can't. You just can't.
Yeah, I'm going to tie it up in a little bow here, Scott. I do think the preseason is going to get shortened. Unfortunately, I don't want to see that, but I do think that's going to happen. I think one of the biggest things we're going to see change, again, assuming the players are dug in and they've taken care of their money during this lockout, is the pie split. It's going to be different, and we're going to see a lot more of this guaranteed stuff, guaranteed ironclad contracts, not the, we signed for $105 million, but only 70 is guaranteed. I think we'll see a lot of movement in there. The most intriguing thing that I'll be watching during that time in the negotiations is how does the power of Roger Goodell get affected? Because I know the players, it's a hot button item for them, and for good reason. So it should be interesting to see what happens there. Let's go over to Jeremy Diaz, resident Dolphins fan. So here's a Dolphins question. Is Gaze on the hot? Yeah, fins up. Well, we'll see. Is Gaze on the hot seat after the ass whooping in New England? Are Tannehill's days numbered?
He was on the hot seat once he traded a Jai and got rid of Landry.
Well, Landry wasn't a him thing. They didn't have the money, according to the organization. But yeah. I mean, that's. I think that was a little bit above him. Dolphins. I mean, they're 3-1 currently. I think they play the Bengals this week. We'll get into that here in a second. Big game for them, obviously. I don't think Gaze is quite on the hot seat yet. I think things have to go really off rails for him to be considered a move. I mean, Tannehill and him are kind of tied at the hip, though. I do agree with that. So if Gaze is here, I believe Tannehill's here. I know the contract's coming up. He's already got $100 million once.
Mm-hmm.
If they go 9-7, 10-6, 11-5 this year, I think you're going to see Gaze and Tannehill be there for a few more years.
Well,
for better or worse, for some people, how they feel about that.
Yeah. QB situations. I don't know. As long as they don't take my QB off the board next year in the draft, I'm good. I don't care. Hoping we get the kid out of Oregon.
I hear you. I mean, at the end of the day, Tannehill definitely has to play better than he did in New England. Now, he's had his season's been pretty good so far, but
Right.
man, that New England game was tough. That was tough. And let's go to our last question from the mailbag this week. John Freeman, what will it take? Although, Messiah, you actually kind of responded to him and answered somewhat. We'll get a little bit better answer this time.
That was a great answer. What are you talking about better?
What will it take to finally get rid of Jameis Winston, Dirk Cutter, and Mike Smith in Tampa Bay? Go ahead, sir.
Cat 4, hurricane, rolling through Tampa Bay. Sweeps over the whole stadium while they're in there training.
Oh, God.
Get all the other players out. Leave Mike in his car in the parking lot. Cutter and Jameis in the building going over the game plan, and whoosh, there they go.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You want the right answer?
Sure.
Oh, let me say it again then. So, Cat 4, no. Honestly, man.
Oh, man.
The thing that's terrible about this, now I've gone over the fact that Cutter's not the coach for Winston. You ran Lovie Smith out of there real quick. You kept Cutter. You thought, oh, well, Jameis and the OC or Cutter at the time was the offensive coordinator. You thought they had a good relationship. You know, Jameis liked him. Let's keep him around. That's probably a better fit. All right. Well, it's not really working out. And to be honest with you, personal issues aside, I haven't really seen the progression with Jameis that you need to see. Does he need a better coach in there? Quarterbacks coach, head coach? For sure. Will it happen with this franchise? I don't think so. I think the coach may get cut. They don't go to the playoffs this year. But I think Jameis Winston they'll either look to trade him, or by the time his contract comes up, they'll be trying to move him. You know, if they weren't trying to move him, you know, right now.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to pick up that. I mean, depending on what happens, I'd be hard pressed to think they're going to pick up the 5th-year option on his rookie deal.
Right, and you know,
and
let's
this
be clear
defense is
too.
terrible.
Yeah, well, you know, I wouldn't say that they're terrible. What I'll say is
Mitchell Trubisky, 6 touchdowns. Look at the yardage, over 400 total yards.
And the defensive coordinator's got a lot to do with that, with putting them in position to make plays.
Right, the week before against Pittsburgh. Right. You want to dial up them numbers?
Yeah, but I called it.
Hey, do you want to dial up the numbers in the first game against New Orleans?
Yeah, same.
The defense is horrendous.
I'm not saying you're not far off. Just saying I don't think they're quite as bad. I don't know if they need a better scheme. I don't know if they need, to change up a couple parts.
Per se, they got some players though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they got guys with talent,
players, but that scheme ain't working. Michael Smith. I mean, if nothing else, Smith definitely needs to be up out of there.
Maybe so. Maybe they just need to change the scheme. I don't know. I just know, we talked about earlier or whatever in the podcast this week, you can't watch plays develop in slow motion with 2 slow QBs or a slow, backup QB and a, double, running back set, or, you watch the guy fake a handoff and then he delivers to the other running back and, they're gone up the sideline. It's like, seriously, y'all just watched that? And nobody did anything about it. That's horrendous. And among other things, but organizationally, man, I just don't think, as far as Jameis goes, I don't think he'll be with the Bucs. He's going to get traded probably somewhere else. Or, I think we were talking about this last night a little bit. Jameis Winston throws a pretty mean fastball. Maybe he goes and plays baseball when this is over.
Maybe so. I don't think he'll make that transition, but obviously it's something that he could do.
He could. That's
option.
One thing,
But yeah, I think, John, if you're ready to get all those guys up out of there, you need about 3 or 4 more of those games against the Bears to happen, and they'll probably whitewash the whole thing or whiteboard the whole thing.
Or we can get some Navy SEALs. Go ahead there under the cover of night. And,
hijack them.
I'm sorry. It was Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is getting ready to come out.
Indeed it is. So, hey, guys, we appreciate the questions. It'll be a running thing. And we'll take, 4 to 6 questions each week, and we're going to break them down on the preview show. So, now that it is the preview show, let's get into these noon games.
Yeah. What's noon for you? It's 1 p.m. for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, when you go to NFL.com, it says noon. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if it was on the West Coast, it'd
probably be
10.
It'd be 10 a.m., yeah.
10, yeah, tough.
Yeah.
But they do get their video games a lot earlier, though.
They do.
Yeah, that part.
Whole 3 hours.
Anyways, Broncos at Jets. Both, need some dubs. Need some dubs.
Yeah. One
team that was expected to possibly contend for that division, as in Denver, probably needs it a little bit more. I think it goes back to what we talked about before with the Jets. Can we get that defense from week 1 from them?
Yeah.
If that defense can show up, I think they have a chance in every game they play.
Just a quick reminder before we go into this. There's a lot of teams coming up this week, uncharacteristically of the NFL. There's a lot of teams coming up this week for week 5 that need a dub.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot. But go ahead. Broncos, Jets.
Yeah. Oh, Broncos, Jets. So, Broncos go on the road after the loss, to Kansas City. So, I don't know, man. It's to me, I think the Broncos can go in there and get the win, but that defense getting pressure on Sam Darnold. I'm still just waiting for the Jets defense to show up that we've seen, man.
Yeah.
That's just kind of, until we see that come back around, I don't know how many games the Jets are going to win.
Yeah, definitely. I can say this much. It's kind of a short week for the Broncos, so I don't know how much they got in the tank. But if they put anything on Darnold, like how they put on Mahomes the other night, it'll be a long night, long afternoon. Yeah, it'll be long.
All right, let's see. Then next game we got on deck, Packers going to the Lions.
Division rivalry.
Indubitably, it is.
Yeah.
Lions are really coming. Probably, you would think.
Yeah.
You would think. They've definitely put up some numbers against each other, especially in the dome before.
I also haven't heard a whole ton about Aaron's injury this week, so it looks like he might be healing up just fine.
Maybe finally getting back to the old A-Rod. Maybe we'll see. We will see. Detroit Lions for them. End of the day, can they find a consistent running game? They've been searching for it all year. The game that they did win against the Patriots was due to they finally found some consistency with that running game. We know what Stafford and those wide receivers can do, but they got to have that balance is what it boils down to for them.
Also had a Trojan horse, too. I mean, their new head coach was the former defensive coordinator the year before.
Very true.
So good Trojan horse.
True.
So,
I
still got Packers, though, on that one.
Yeah, I think the Packers go in here and take care of the Lions. And like I said, for the Lions to have a chance, got to get the running game going. I don't care who it is, Riddick, Blunt, whoever. They got to get the running game going.
I don't know. I think they win. I think the Packers either win by 3 or they win by 17. Like, it could be that type of game.
I mean, it's divisional. So things always a little nip and tuck sometimes when you play the divisional rivals.
For sure.
On to Carolina. Your New York Football Giants face Cam and the Panthers off a bye.
Right. So Cam's had plenty of time to rest, and the New York Giants still haven't figured out how to run their offense, and we're averaging 18 points a game. Going to give this game to the Panthers all day long. Talking about teams that need a win, the Giants need a win. I can tell you right now, should we not win this game, going to be a lot of chatter all over about the Giants and what to do about the season and Eli Manning and Odell Beckham and all that other stuff. So, Giants, Panthers. I got the Panthers by 16. At least.
Well, I mean,
I look for a backup QB to show up in fourth quarter for the Panthers type thing.
Oh man, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I don't think it's going to be that rough. Okay. I think if that $200 million defense the Giants paid for a couple years ago can do their thing.
Thanks for reminding me. So Snacks might be out. Olivier Vernon didn't practice yesterday, so he's definitely out.
Okay, so if the other $100 million of what y'all signed can play and line up this weekend, maybe you have a chance. If the Giants can slow down McCaffrey overall, punt return, running the ball, catching the ball, if they can kind of slow down McCaffrey and keep Cam contained and not let him get loose, on the outside. I mean,
brother,
some things they can do there.
Stop. Let me stop you right there. It's my team. I've loved them. I've loved them ever since I could tie my own shoes. I'm telling you, this game, it's over. Let's talk about the Titans and the Bills now.
Hey, trust me. It makes me doesn't give me any more joy than seeing the Giants take a L.
The inside's warm, don't it? Knowing that we're going to take another L.
Indeed. All right. Well, you say 16. I do have the Panthers winning, but I'm just saying, ease up on the doom and gloom. I feel bad for you. It ain't really that I feel bad for the Giants.
Don't feel bad for you. Look, let's so it's clear. So you and I, we definitely like to make sure that people know where we stand, especially when it comes to the NFL, so that there's no mistakes come later on. No one can ever dial back and go, well, I didn't say that. You didn't say that. I told you before the season started. What did I tell you? Let's say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. 7 and 9. That's what the New York Giants are going to do this year. New head coach, new offense, new defense. That's what I figure. And after last week's game, 5 and 11.
Well,
that's kind of where I put him at.
Yeah, that might get you in the quarterback range for this draft coming up. We'll see.
I don't need Kyler Murray. I need Justin Herbert.
Well, fair enough. We'll put that away. Let's get over to the resurgent 3-1 Titans going to the Bills, who did not circle the wagons last week.
Who you got?
I got Titans, man.
Okay.
I think they're just going to come through. I think Bills trying to figure some things out. Mm-hmm. Again, they got that win. When you don't when you're not on the board with a win, there's that urgency you play with. Mm-hmm. And then they were right off the heels of the guy quitting on them at halftime, so there's a little bit more for them. Mm-hmm. And they got that win, and then they laid the goose egg last week. Now I get it. I'm sure they're going to be competitive and everything, but I'm smelling what I'm smelling what Vrabel's cooking with him permeating, that linebacker mentality into that team and these tough wins they're doing. And I think they go on the road and get this win.
Yeah. Also, this has the potential to be a trap game, in a sense, for the Titans with all the bodies they're missing. But nah, Bills don't got it together.
Dysfunction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Titans going to roll on that one.
Yeah, so, Titans roll.
Yeah. On to Falcons at Steelers.
Interesting matchup.
Talk about
two
teams
that
we thought, or most people thought would be
4-0.
Yeah, or headed to the playoffs. Yep. Whether they won their division or not, headed to the playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, is it that? You lose this one, Atlanta. It's a wrap.
You lose this one, Steelers. Not that it's a wrap, but
it's not quite.
It's not going to quiet down in Pittsburgh. I can tell you that.
You know what? I got the Falcons. I think the Falcons. I do not believe in that Steelers defense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And we've seen what Matt Ryan's done back-to-back games.
Fitzpatrick's done to the Steelers.
Fitzpatrick's done to the Steelers defense, right? But I'm just saying, Matt Ryan, the back-to-back games, the numbers he's putting up. I get it. He's not going to be in a dome, though. He's going to be outside, but it's not late in the year. The weather's still going to be pretty good over there at Heinz Field. So, yeah, man. And they're getting Freeman back, too. Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to take it. Yeah. I got Falcons in this one.
And they're deep. I mean, this is one of those games, too, like the way this team's currently constructed right now in Atlanta. their offense has got to take them out because they're missing so many defensive pieces, key pieces. Man, they ain't going to be able to stand up to a lot of stuff, especially come later on in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I fully predicted by the end of this game, maybe the fourth quarter, there's going to be some signs up saying, where's Le'Veon in the stadium, pretty much.
Well, week 7 or 8 after the bye, whichever week that is, he'll be here. But
fans are trolls, though. They'll still put him
on.
on.
You know. Oh, yeah, you definitely. But like I said, both teams need it really bad. I think the Falcons are going to get it, though. Yep. That's where I'm at. On to Ravens at Browns.
Divisional rival.
Yep. Always tough. That Ravens defense starting to get in full force. And as usual, which Joey Flacco are we going to get this week?
Better be the Joey Flacco that ate his spinach, because if Myles Garrett gets to him,
ooh, yeah,
Lamar Jackson on deck.
Man, definitely. Brown's got to be able to run the ball pretty to help the rook out some.
Yep.
But that Ravens front, I just don't know if they're going to be able to get that job done. Like I said, my biggest concern about the Browns coming into this season was offensive line. I just don't think that offensive line is going to get it done against the Ravens defensive line. And I got the Ravens winning.
Yeah, definitely the Ravens. And honestly, the last game the Ravens played against the Steelers, man, Suggs looked so crisp. He looked quick, looked like, man, like he hit the fountain of youth real quick, or, his injuries are finally healed up, because he's been so nicked the last 6-7 years. Like, it's, Suggs running it.
For sure. Protect your neck, Baker. Protect your neck. Suggs will introduce himself to you.
Oh, yeah.
Now on to Dolphins going to the Bengals.
Tough. I got the Bengals for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone needs a bounce back game to show that their 3-0 start wasn't a fluke, it's definitely the Dolphins.
But Bengals,
but that red rifle is locked in.
Yeah,
he is locked in.
3 weeks ago, man, I tell you, that that offense is
locked in. Now, they did lose a key piece, unfortunately, Tyler Eifert with a very nasty broken leg.
Yeah.
Probably a career for him.
Definitely drafting a tight end next year.
You're right. With all the back injuries that he's had to battle and miss time and come back and then have this happen, I just don't know if we're going to see him line up and play football again, which, it really sucks, because the kid's got a lot of talent. And he's playing, when he's on the field, that offense is definitely a lot better. So
I can't remember him having a history at Notre Dame. Dude was a man amongst boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't get it.
And I mean, sometimes it just happens. So the Bengals offense, not having him will look a little bit different, but I think they're just going to have enough. I mean, also the Dolphins have lost another offensive lineman for the season. So that's number 2 or 3 for them on the offensive line they've lost for the year. Yeah. Definitely not helping things up front for Tannehill.
And then, as we talk about this, we were talking earlier before we got on, the injury report this week for the NFL, horrendous.
Country mile long.
Oh,
Country
man.
mile long.
Yes.
Oh, man. So, I got the Bengals winning. That's it. The Dolphins angle here, if they're able to run the ball enough to get Tannehill into play action, that's where he excels.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, the missing offensive lineman going on the road. I got the Bengals, man.
And let me say, I hope some way the Dolphins can pull this game out. But I think it's the Bengals, man. Offense is too much.
All right.
Next
and
game.
The last of the noon games. Spicy. Yes. Lots of chatter back and forth from a receiver in a corner.
Yes.
Jaguars versus Chiefs in KC.
Mm-hmm.
Heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
Heavyweight. This is a heavyweight type matchup right here.
Yeah. Jaguars defense travels, though, so I mean,
2 things that travel: the run game and defense. No ifs, ands, or buts.
But that's funny that you should bring that up. They don't really have that over there in Jacksonville right now, with Fournette being out. So
I mean,
Yeldon's gonna get some touches here today. this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, the definitely Mahomes now. Mm-hmm. We had to say his biggest hurdle that he's had to face so far.
Definitely say this is going to be his biggest test of the year.
And I'm not saying he's going to be terrible, but it just feels like Jacksonville's going to win this game to me. Mm. It just feels like Jacksonville's going to win it. I think the defense is there. I think very quietly, Blake Bortles is actually throwing the ball pretty well. Mm. And Yeldon can give him enough in the running game. Again, the Chiefs defense can be gashed in the running game. We've seen it. And at times can give up a lot of, some passing as well, too. Mm. Shown the ability, the Chiefs defense, at times when they need to get a stop, they can do that. But other than that, they're kind of Swiss cheese as well. Yeah. Their attack is horrendous. But I think Mahomes finally takes the L. I'll go a step further. I think he's going to end up throwing his first, or he'll have his first turnover, whether it's an interception or a fumble.
Yeah,
one or the other. He will have his first turnover this week.
I think with this game, because of the legend of Mahomes growing, and judging by the comments from Ramsey, the Jags were game planning for this game 2 weeks ago. I can tell you that. Just the chatter, look, we wasn't even, halfway during the week. I mean, you got Jalen Ramsey, dude was a kick returner. That's how he got his status. Like, bro, you've been paying attention to that dude long before this game popped up on the calendar for you. You know what I mean? While you was playing last week, you was thinking about this game. So, definitely, we know who's running that organization GM wise. You can bet they were scouting for that early on in this game. And this game's got the potential to not even just be like, one of those games where, you hear the oohs and the ahs, but man, I could see some hands going on action wise in this game with as much talking's coming.
Oh yeah, it'll be chippy. Man, it's going to get chippy. Mm-hmm. I have no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This will have a, he'll start it off talking about he's an okay cornerback, yada yada, and then Ramsey fired back and everything. This is probably the first game where you're going to have that playoff vibe feel to it. It's going to have that, and truth be told, we might see this again in the playoffs. But yeah, this is going to have that vibe of the playoffs, the chippiness, definitely. Yeah. I think it's going to be nip and tuck, but I do think the Jaguars are going to pull it out, though.
If the Chiefs can shut down the run and attack that left side of the line because Cam Robinson's out, they can do that. I think they got a good shot of pulling this out. If they don't do that consistently and their defense looks like how they looked on Monday night, well, yeah, Jalen Ramsey going to have a whole lot more stuff to talk about.
Indeed. Well, definitely got that one circled. We're going to be watching that one.
Oh, yes.
Onto the second half games of the day.
Yeah.
Raiders at Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Need dubs. You need dubs.
I mean, Raiders got on the board finally. They're 1-3. Yep. Chargers sitting at 500. But I mean, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. Who are we? And the Chargers. I mean, we know about the injuries that they had, even getting into the season, losing the cornerback, losing the tight end.
Right.
Then you had Bosa have to sit down.
Right.
But still at 2-2. Raiders got their win in overtime. Marshawn Lynch, though, third in the league in rushing. Chucky definitely getting back to getting him the ball and getting the run game going.
He's another one on the injury list this week, too. He's a questionable for sure. He's nicked up.
But, man, it just seems like every game Derek Carr's going to give you some candy. Even more so than last year. Like, he's going to give you some candy.
Yeah.
It just seems that
I can tell you this much. I hope, the way Chucky dispensed Khalil Mack real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's got the propensity to dispense of a quarterback, especially since it ain't one he drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he loves quarterbacks. How you do. He loves he wants them all.
I'm like, let me tell you what, Go get Will Greer. Don't touch my quarterback in Oregon. Go get Will Greer. Don't touch my QB.
Yeah. Well, I definitely look for Gordon to have a field day. Yeah. Over 100 yards rushing for sure.
Yeah.
I think Chargers ended up winning this one by I'm feeling like 10 skis, 10, 13, something in there. Hopefully they got the kicker situation resolved. Now, there's been no team had the worst time with kickers than the Chargers last year and so far this year. Dear Lord, it is rough. Hopefully they got that situated. But Raiders return to form. Going to take an L. Chargers get to 3-2.
Chargers are going to 7-Eleven to go change out kickers. That's how bad
Man,
it was.
for real. Yeah. Just go grab another bag.
Yeah, go grab another one. Get somebody there.
We got the Vikings going to Philly.
Yeah, I like that.
The L's.
Yeah, I like that.
Vikings need a dub pretty badly.
Yeah.
Eagles 2-2, but they're in,
they need a dub. Now that Carson's back.
All right, they're 1-1 with Carson back and could have took a loss, could have took an L to the Colts at home. The Vikings, you know what we need? Here's what I need to see. It's time for the Vikings defense to be the Vikings defense. Okay, you got Mike Zimmer, the defensive guy who is your head coach, and all the y'all had there. They have the players on defense as well. I know cornerback might be a little bit thin, but that was coming into this season anyways.
Yeah,
that defense needs to go up, because if it doesn't, this thing's supposed to get away from them, and you're looking at A-Rock better in that division. Hey, the Bears are 3-1. Vikings better wake up. They need this game more than Philly does. I'll say that much.
Yeah, situation going on over there though. Side note with Everson Griffin, his mental health. Prayers for that dude and his family. Just that he can get the help that he needs. Because Everson Griffin's a stud,
No doubt.
They need him, he's out for this game, obviously with the issues that he's dealing with, but
yeah, bigger than football.
Yeah, definitely that.
I think Philly gets the win. I don't think the Vikings. I think the Vikings are about to fold like a lawn chair.
Yeah, and another reminder to GMs out there, whether you actually, run an organization or personnel for an organization, or you're sitting in a chair at home with a beer in your hand. Never ever do you guarantee all the money for a QB. Never ever.
Well, you better get ready, because that stuff's about to happen on the regular.
Man,
and it's not been his fault so far.
Not for this dude though.
Hey, I mean, they could have kept Case. That's never who they'd rather have.
Man, let me tell you right now, if it wasn't for the fact that dude came from the Redskins, a dysfunctional organization, I'd still be saying the same thing. Like, not for that dude.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, he's put up numbers. I mean, and he's played well this year so far. So we'll see what's going on. I just don't think the defense is going to have it together. And I think Philly, going back home after that L, will be ready to kind of right the ship and remember their champions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
On to Rams at Seahawks. Yeah. Divisional again.
Yes.
I mean, here I have that feeling. Just Rams win. Let's keep it moving. Like that's kind of how I feel. I mean, but still some injuries at the cornerback position. They did lose a linebacker for the rest of the year.
Earl Thomas out.
But yeah, we know so about to say. But you give it to the Hawks side. Yeah, now Earl Thomas is gone. Now what is that defense going to look like? Mm-hmm. Goff is on a horrid pace right now.
The running backs don't have more yards than receivers. Catch it, watch it.
Right.
You watch it.
And of course, now divisional games, we know those, you kind of throw some of that stuff out of the window when you're playing divisional games, but Rams are smoking. I don't, even missing the cornerbacks and everything else, I think they get the job done in Seattle.
Nope. Yeah, Rams got it. No doubt. Rams got it, bro. I mean, like, if you're going to the Super Bowl tomorrow, you got to take them.
Yeah. Now we get over to Cardinals, 49ers. Book it. Josh Rosen gets
his first dub.
I'm giving it to the kid.
Nice.
They better get here. It might be a while, but I'm going to give it to the kid. I think they get it done. Shout out to the Niners playing inspired football last week.
Yeah.
And almost getting the win against San Diego. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think it's going to be a slobber knocker. But I think the Cardinals are going to get it done, man. I think they get on the board. They're going to play well. They played well for it. I mean, we talked about it already. Minus a couple of drop passes, Cardinals probably win that game against Seattle.
Yep.
So
missed kicks.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna give the nod on the road. And I've noticed them. I think I've picked a lot of road teams today. I got a lot of road teams, but neither here nor there. I mean, home field advantage isn't quite what it used to be in the NFL though either. So Cardinals over Niners. Man, this is not much a whole lot to say about the Niners, man. I mean, here's the best scenario for them. CJ Beathard really plays well for the rest of the year and gives them some bait, per se, if you will, to either move him around or know that they have a solidified backup. It's just going to be rough. Definitely need to see more from that defense, those guys over there for the Niners as well, too. The Solomon Thomases of the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your boy from Bama. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what about your boy from Bama? He needs to step up. Mm-hmm.
I think he's fine. I mean, he's at least tackling.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. So, on to the Sunday night game. Oh,
trap game.
Cowboys, Texans. It can't be a trap when you're not consistent.
Whatever. Trap.
when you're trash one week, okay, we're back, and then trash again. Oh, okay, we're back. There's no such thing as a trap.
Let me tell you now.
Look. The Cowboys are on schedule to be trash this week. If we look how it's went so far.
Yeah, one last week.
Yeah, so it's time for us to be trash again.
Make sure I turn my phone off at 8:20.
Oh, nah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to cancel my trip to Houston for this game.
Yikes!
I wanted to get there, but I had some stuff come up that I got to hang around and handle up here my way, so I can't make it down there for that. But definitely be tuned in.
That's good, though. At least you get to stick to your diet.
Yeah, no barbecue.
Yeah.
Or street tacos, amongst everything else that's down there. But, man, I'm going to pick the Texans.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the Texans. Until Dallas shows me consistency, and when I say Dallas, I mean Scott Linehan, I'm just going to stick to the script. We lose this week, we'll win next week. I'm just going to stick right to it all the way to 8-8 until they show me differently. I want to buy in. I believe the Cowboys defense can definitely contain the Texans because they can't run the ball very well. There's been a lot of pressure applied to Deshaun Watson, so I think we can definitely get home there. But offensively, and we know the guys that they have on that side, whether we're talking about Clowney, Watt, Matthew, Merciless, we can just kind of go down the line. Even though they've given up a lot of stuff here, yardage and everything and points, Scott Linehan going to game plan and be able to put us in position to do that. So with that being said, man, I'm rolling Texans. I'm rolling Texans in this one. Yeah. That's my brain. Now my heart is Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm probably catch some flack for picking the Texans over the Cowboys. That's fine.
I'm not picking anybody because my phone's going to be off. Because if stuff goes sideways, I don't want to hear them. I don't want to see the messages.
Man, go ahead and pick somebody. It's fine.
No. It's a trap game to me. I think the Cowboys win it.
Okay. Cowboys in the dub. Yeah. And now here's the game. I talked about this in Nixon 6. Mm-hmm. Outside of the Jaguars and Chiefs, that's the number one on my list. But
let me give you my pick right
which
now.
One? Okay.
Saints. So
okay.
Only because I hate the Redskins.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But that defense, though.
The most intriguing matchup, one of the most intriguing for me, is Redskins and Saints on Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Redskins 2-1. Mm-hmm. Last time we saw them put on a little bit of show against the Packers, albeit a hobbled, if you will, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That defensive front.
Yeah.
Talked about it. With you preseason, even, when we were talking leading up to the season, and I was like, man,
you ain't
that
got
front.
to tell me. A lot of them boys come from my college team. You ain't got to tell me.
And then, Alex Smith having Reed. We know he likes to get to the side end and where he likes to throw the ball. Then they had the injuries of running back. You get AP. AP's so far the fountain of youth, right? Mm-hmm. Saints have won 3 straight.
Yep.
They're now going to get back Mark Ingram, which potentially could take touches away from Alvin Kamara.
Mm-hmm. Side note, injuries for the Saints. Kamara, limited in practice yesterday. Armstead and Pete are questionable on the offensive line. Ted Ginn Jr. is non-participant in practice. Cameron Meredith also limited in practice. Just an FYI.
Gotcha. Man, I think the Redskins are going to win. I think they had the week off, the bye to get ready. Saints won 3 straight. They had to come back, even though they get an extra day. Playing on Monday night, made the cross country trip north and south, not east and west, to New York and back. I think the Skins with that defensive front, and I think AP is going to have enough in the tank at least this week to give them a solid running game. I think the Redskins are going to show up and say, hey, in the NFC East, you got to come beat us. We're the team to beat in the East, in the NFC East, and get to 3-1.
Yeah, that front seven is not to be played with. And they got a man-child over there named Deron Payne they just drafted. He ain't scared of nothing.
At all.
Nope.
No.
I wish him luck.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You win Saints, I win Skins. We'll see. We'll revisit that game Monday night and see what's going on.
Definitely trying to make sure I catch my notes on that game.
No doubt. Well, that's going to do it there. That's it, man. That's all the games. Some good joints in there.
That's it. You don't want to talk about anything else?
Oh no, I'm just talking about for the games, sir. The games.
Oh, okay.
Just want to note, doing pretty good on these Monday night and Sunday night games so far. Thursday night could have been better, Colts Pats, but still the primetime games so far early, still pretty solid.
Yeah.
Still pretty solid. All right, give me the one player to watch for this weekend. Not named Patrick Mahomes. How about that?
The one player to watch.
The one player to watch. One player you think is going to put on a show.
I don't know. I think Hill's going to show up. Jalen Ramsey talked a lot of mess.
Yeah.
And Hill was pretty sprightly last week. So he
got Hill.
I think Hill might have a little extra hot sauce in his grits this week.
Okay, all right.
For Jalen Ramsey. Also, defensively, I look for the front seven of the Washington Redskins to make life real difficult for the training room at the New Orleans Saints facility, because them boys coming with the hurt.
Yeah. Running game might not do too well for the Saints there.
They don't have the hurt.
My one player to watch. Man, I gotta watch and see. I gotta backdoor it, man. I gotta look at Jared Goff again. I gotta see him again. I gotta see what's going on and how masterful he was last week. I need to see it again. So the one player to watch for me is definitely Jared Goff going up to a very noisy place.
Yeah.
And I want to see him silence it. Yeah. And I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to have a good game, especially with Earl Thomas being out of there. That just gives him more, that's even more reason to say, okay, now we can spread him out even more without Earl there and get down the field on these guys. So Jared Goff is definitely my guy to watch on offense. Defensively. You ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm going to go with Terrell Suggs.
Ooh.
I think he's going to. I think he's going to make life very difficult for one Baker Mayfield. I think in his elder statesmanship, he kind of gets up even a little bit more of not just division, but like, oh, you a rookie?
Yeah.
I got a little morsel back here, a little rookie.
Yeah.
Hey, let me introduce you properly to the league. Yeah. So I'm gonna definitely keep my eye on T Suggs this weekend at Cleveland.
Old T Sizzle boy, he got that dude. Don't stop running this.
No, man.
He don't care
at all. Yeah, he don't care. It's crazy. I know he was the last to kind of get into that Ravens defense of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and them. Yep. But man, don't it just seem like he's been there for like 25
It
years.
feels like he's been there for 15 years, probably. Yeah.
Man, he's like been there a long time. Yeah. The last remnants of that great Baltimore defense, man. But what you gonna do for the weekend, though?
Man,
now you're all moved in and everything.
This football, get these legs up, keep them up on my nice comfy chair my wife bought me.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Watch some games, me and the kids.
Maybe some Madden Ultimate Team?
Yeah,
maybe some Madden Ultimate Team.
Yeah, I think the MUT Heroes dropped today, content-wise, so definitely see how much of that I can get into without spending cash.
Hey, for real. Don't pay to win.
Yeah, don't pay to win. Try to grind for these coins and stuff.
No doubt. Yeah, see, I'm over here looking like a burger wolf, so I want to
hit that barber.
Hit that barber up and get cleaned up and a little gym action, and then that Assassin's Creed Odyssey drops. I started messing with that a little bit last night. Probably play a little bit more, but also definitely my online franchise got some Madden on deck I got to get to as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of. Go ahead.
I was going, and since I'm not going to Houston, I guess I will be. Oh, also, I almost forgot, tomorrow night, the Conor McGregor fight in UFC is returned to UFC. Definitely checking that out. Yeah, definitely going to see what's up with that.
Good for you. Enjoy that. I'm not a big McGregor fan.
It's UFC.
I mean, if we cussed on on our podcast, I'd give you the Conor McGregor. Who the is that?
Who the
is that? But nah, I'm kind of like, another thing too for me, like gaming wise. I mean, for the listeners out there, like one of the things that Nix and Messiah do and have been doing for as long as we've known each other, and hell, before we known each other, is play video games. And I'm kind of like saving myself for the Black Ops 4 launch, try to, before I start getting my nerves and my twitchy, back, my twitchy fingers back. But yeah, definitely that. What's that?
That's going to be intriguing. The Battle Royale style mode that they're adding.
Yeah, I played some of that in the beta too. So yeah, kind of saved myself for that. And then, just what we do, maybe sometime in the future or whatever, maybe we've got another group that we kind of manage or moderate called Cranky Old Gamers on Facebook. Maybe you guys want to take a search, check that out. Maybe one day we'll start talking about video games a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe. But for now, we'll keep it to this NFL though.
Yeah. I think that's it, man. Get to this weekend.
Yeah, man. Get slate of games for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Hey, we'll catch up to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Deep in the Huddle. We're out.